after it. Seems very unusual. It's a brig out of Absalom. Now that it has run up its true colors, seems to be a pirate hunter of some kind. Not terribly well armed, but better armed than you perhaps with its catapults. And there's a half elf. Seems to have typical noble gear. Very expensive silk clothing, kind of like someone who looks like they want to be a pirate, but really isn't, not dirty, nothing frayed. All of her sailors are all, like crisp jacketed, press shirts and all that such, and they all seem to be fairly experienced. In fact, they seem to be more experienced than their captain at sailing. And, looks like we're adding books to the initiative order as well. Very well. So, the Q will now roll for upper hand. Awesome, rolling against myself. You guys get a 25, so you get a +2 on any maneuvers this round. Because you hold the gauge. Movement. They will simply shoot at you for now, rather than take any movements. Does someone have the stats for the Laughing Dolphin up? Well, that's going to miss by a lot. So they chuck a rock at you and begin reloading. It's going to take them 2 rounds to reload this thing.
AC is going to be 2 plus your sailor check, so 13.
13. So they have 2 rounds to reload. Let me just double check on the siege engine table. Catapult standard is 3 rounds to load and 2 rounds to aim again. Wow. This is going to be a while.
Should we get in close? Grapple, grapple, grapple.
Speaking of that, they are going to hard to port. Turn port 90 degrees. Doing this to the rear, they need to do what? Make a 20? Okay. They pull up hard to port. Rear square to rear square. And stay the course. It continues to move at its current speed directly forward. 30. Alright, Maelstrom, you're up.
Okay. So they shot one catapult. What about the other one?
The other one is on the starboard side, and it has not been fired yet. It's still loaded.
Okay. I'm within range. I'm in range of both of them. It says that wind wall is 10 feet long per cast level. Wait a minute, 10 feet per level and 5 feet high. Can I make kind of like a circle of air around that catapult so I won't leave the area?
No, I think the wall has to be an actual wall.
It has to be a wall, can't be blocked off.
It actually says here that siege engine projectiles are not affected, so this is not going to make any difference during this combat.
Okay, then I'm useless. Might as well just drop out.
Okay, you drop out. Okay, Laughing Dolphin. What would you like to have the Laughing Dolphin do?
Ram them.
Ram them. Okay.
Don't we get any kind of advantage for having advantage?
You get a +2 on your check for having advantage.
Ah, right.
Okay, so
I don't know. We're in good range for a grapple.
I don't think you guys are close enough to ram them yet, right? We see ramming. To ram a target, you must move at least 30 feet and end with your forward square adjacent to the target. Okay, you could do that. So, a +11, +2. You do not succeed at the movement. Try again, and you go nowhere. So you try to stay your course twice, you go nowhere. So your ship just kind of coasts along for a short time. You have trouble getting the sails in. You know, all those inexperienced crewmen up in the rigging are just flubbing the jib, as it were.
Chumley, what are you doing?
Well, Chudley's down in the hold, right? He's on permanent bilgewater duty, right?
No. After we re-recruited him, he has now been upgraded to.
Oh, you're just making sure he's a viable crew member, so when you play him later during Plunder and Peril, you
Number one, stop giving away my surprises.
Surprises. My
Oh.
apologies. You don't want him to be the butt monkey.
Number two, that was stated that we were doing that last week, more out of the interest of fairness, and so that he can quote his way up from the bottom in the agreement.
Well, he certainly spent quite a few days in the bottom there. Uncle Books, what actions would you like to take?
Mainly, it's going to be buffing. So Mage Armor myself, using a scroll, and then I was going to hit, next round, I was going to hit Captain Ferris with a blur, if she wants one.
Alright.
Oh yeah, there is one thing I could do, bark skin. That's it.
Alright. So, these guys are going to try to go full ahead and accelerate. So, oh, you know what? I gotta make the checks to see who has the upper hand this round. And it is the Laughing Dolphin again. Has the upper hand. You hit them with some dirty air there that actually would make sense, because if it's a northerly wind and they're trying to pass in front of you, they would hit dirty air. Successful sailing check increase the current speed by its acceleration, another 30 feet. So, they increase their acceleration to 60 feet, and they will attempt to make stay the course, pilot the ship forward on its current facing at its current speed. And they will not go anywhere.
Funniest naval battle ever. We're going somewhere. Nope.
Nope.
Let's try this. Nope.
So they try to move forward, but you guys are, you're hitting them with dirty air. Your sails are catching all the wind, and their ship's going nowhere. Their catapult is 2 turns away from being reloaded. Laughing Dolphin, what would you like to do?
Ram them again.
Ram again. Sifri takes to the wheel like a boss. He makes 20. He will move forward diagonal. He is within 30 feet of the hostile ship and initiates a ram maneuver. Ram. Ramming the ship, you must move 30 feet with a forward square adjacent to the target. The ship's pilot must make a combat ramming maneuver against the CMD using the CMB of your ship.
So it's CMB plus sailing check? Yes.
Yes. What is your CMB? Should be pretty low.
The ship's CMB is +8 plus the pilot's sail.
+8 plus 11 is a 35 versus their CMD of 29. You connect easily. What is your ramming damage?
8d8.
Alright. You succeed by 5 or more. You take twice. They take twice the damage. 16d8 for 74. It doesn't really seem to do that much damage to them. However, if you collide with another object, there is no combat maneuver check. It happens automatically. Blah, blah, blah. Would you like to initiate a grapple at this point?
Yes.
Okay, you grapple over to the queue. Or I should ask, are you guys grappling and then heading over there, or are you staying here and waiting for them to come to you?
Take it, I think.
Taking it to them? Alright. Let me grab your characters, and we shall begin. So, it should be noted that while the ship seems to theoretically be a warship, it does have only very light weaponry, and it is very visibly loaded with quite expensive things all over it. You know, there's like gold lining on everything. The captain's got like a gold-plated spyglass. All of the cabin boys are wearing like kid gloves and have silver trays to bring up drinks to the men that are in the rigging. It's really strange.
They're rolling high class.
Yeah.
You see me drooling so hard.
All right. So their captain is located on the, on the back. I don't know where you guys would like to come over at. But you get to choose which part of the ship you would like to come onto, and they get first strike.
Was I able to cast any more buffs during that time?
No, unfortunately, you guys hit and jumped over.
Okay.
Should Strike Force Alpha just take the midship?
Sounds about right. Siegfried, lead the way.
We'll be catty quarter behind you.
Okay. I think I got everything here. For a random event, I wasn't super prepared, but here we go.
Oh no. Looks like they have a Slayer.
Slayer men.
He's actually not holding any weapons. He's like a very large monkish fellow who just seems to be like kneeling and meditating on the floor when you guys come over. But he is putting himself between you and the captain. And the captain's like shouting. She's like, "Aye, you landlubberish ones! Flub that jib! That's the jib, right? Flub it!" And she's like, "Reload the catapults!"
Oh, I cannot appear to change my initiative to the correct value.
Which is 10.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, and let me get L Master Scourge. Scourge is just going directly on the back deck. I mean, like, he swings over and he's just in full rage mode. That's Scourge!
Funny enough, I'm about to say the same thing.
Glory.
Alright, so they get a surprise round. Do we have books? Books that you need to pick someplace on the ship you'd like to land on.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking of the whole theme song. Who's that dwarf? Who's that dwarf? It's Scourge!
Who's that bad mother? Shut your mouth! Just talking about Master Scourge. Alright.
We can dig it.
I sent that in a tweet to, oh gosh, what was that reality TV show with the King Arthur, D&D King Arthur backdrop?
The Quest?
Yes.
Yeah.
I sent that to Sondo, what's his name, I think? And he retweeted that. I thought I was pretty proud of that.
The Quest. Everyone
Yes,
at home should
The
be
Quest.
watching that. If you haven't seen The Quest, stop watching right now. Go to Hulu and watch The Quest from NBC. It's fantastic. All right, so during their surprise round, this guy stands up from his monkin pose, and he settles into snake style. The captain in the back just like holds her crossbow out one-handed towards Scourge and tries to shoot him in the chest, and misses horribly. Like, she's just like, no, get back! It just like completely misses, flies, hits someone on your guys' ship, and he's like, ow, what the heck? And we're back around. This guy slides in smoothly to punch Scourge in the face. 19 versus Scourge's flat foot of 16. He's going to hit.
Yeah, Scourge dies on the day that he's not here.
For 6 points of damage. Alright, books.
Can I see both the captain and the monk? The other captain, that is.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Even though the physics of it are a little strange. I'm assuming she's
Okay.
standing on top of a box or something.
Okay.
It should be noted she is unusually short. She's like 4.5 feet tall.
Okay.
She's like the Napoleon of ship captains.
I'll move up there and cast glitter dust just to get both the
Oh.
captain and the. Oh, I gotta redo my DCs now.
Well, it doesn't matter. They both fail.
Yeah.
Immediately surrender. They're both like, "I'm blind," and the monk's like, "Well, this is done for."
Tie him up and take their swag.
Yep.
Didn't
So the
even
captain immediately surrenders, just like, "Nope, this is not happening." You know, she's trying to reload her crossbow blind. She's like kicking the stirrup. She's like, "Oh no, nope, I'm done. I surrender."
Tap out.
That's it? Nobody else is fighting us?
Nope. Well, your crew members are fighting, right? But you're fighting the people on their deck as well.
Yeah.
Your crew members are fighting their crew members.
It's like chaos right now.
It should be noted that monk was actually pretty buff.
I'm pretty sure he was.
She was ridiculously weak, but he was super strong. But, you know, he rolled a 1 and immediately got blinded. Okay, so you have captured the coup. It contains 2 points of plunder in the form of, if you'd like to strip it off the ship, you know, noble gold. And it also has the captain's, Captain Runescar's titles. So, like, she owns a mine somewhere in the Turwa Uplands, and she's got a bar somewhere in Port Peril. And she offers you all this stuff as part of 2 points of plunder.
Yay! What do we need to say?
So, her ship is actually overstocked with sailors. It can only handle 40 sailors, and she has 45 on board. And, you know, accommodations had to be made for all of her stuff. So, like, her sailors, like, sleep in the rigging at night. There's no space. So, like, you know, the cabin boys are running around with kid gloves and silver trays and, you know, bottles of punch for everyone and warm meals. But on the other hand, the conditions on the ship are incredibly terrible. You're dropping out.
So all the deeds and titles are part of the 2 points of plunder?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it won't take much for you guys to threaten her and just have her turn them over.
Wait a minute. The bar in Port Peril, do I know about this bar? Since I lived there for about 5 years.
Sure.
No, it's local, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's owned by her, so I get that.
All right. You have heard of the Rune Scar, which is named after her. It is an extremely poorly managed bar. It almost certainly loses money every night, and it's basically like a vanity item. Only, like, none of the pirates go there. No pirates go there. It's a tourist bar only. No one who lives there would ever be seen there because you would have to be a total loser. So, like, people come from out of town, like, nobility, are like, "Oh, yes, I'm going to go to Port Peril. I'm so adventurous." And they go to
That bar.
Scar.
Yeah, because they don't want to get shanked.
You know, they might order a drink or two, but given, you know, they've got like 15 servants for the 3 people that are in there. Every night they have like white label all over the place. The bartender gives out free shots. So it's basically like a money sink. It's there as a noble vanity for the Runescar family.
Yeah, well, it's us now. Add that on top of our...
The pearls. It's got real pearls in it. First bowl's free. True piratey location. Okay, so here's the question. about 35 of the crew are willing to immediately swear loyalty to you guys, but the remaining 10 are all feel members of the Runescar family or, retainers of some kind. And they would rather die than let you take Lady Runescar.
How much a ransom do you think she's worth?
You can make a knowledge nobility check.
I Lady Runescar my cat chat.
She's
Yeah,
human, right?
we can't change their mind.
She's half elf.
She's half elf.
So
But
you'd like to chat with someone, Lorraine?
I would like to talk with Lady Runescar privately.
Okay. So Lady Runescar invites you into her cabin on her ship. She still refers to it as hers, of course, even though she's already surrendered. And offers you some, 30-year-old bottle of brandy. And just, doesn't even, uncork it or anything. She just takes her, very fancy-looking sword and just slices the top of the bottle open. And the glass just shatters everywhere, and she just pours it out into these huge goblets, and she's just like, well, this is not exactly my day, then. Here you go, Commodore Ferris. Now, what is it you wanted to speak to me about? So she's, sitting, she's got, demure pose, legs crossed, sitting up straight, but she's, completely sweating, totally pale, completely frightened to talk to you.
Lady Runescar, have you been bird hunting long?
Oh, I thought that the Chilaxians had a thing or two going correctly, and I figured I'd take my hand at some of the no-name pirates out here. Pirate trash that don't have their warrant yet, non-freak. I mean, of course I didn't know that you were an honored pirate. I thought you were just some regular scum, of course.
Well, you truly have a lovely ship here. I mean, you've obviously put effort in this.
This is, oh, you like it? Yes, this is just my pleasure yacht. We keep the warship at home.
Indeed, but as I said, were we your first encounter? I mean, obviously you're trying very hard, but it seems your crew has a few rough edges to knock off.
She says, well, I must say, they have been complaining quite a bit about having to sleep in the rigging. My word, I can't believe it. Well, we've been out here for about 2 weeks, we sailed from Peril down to Sargava and back. It seems most of the Chelish pirate hunters have been chasing off most of our prey.
English. They think that they own everything.
She's like, yes, of course, the Chelish do believe that they own everything. Those fools. Can't they see that the power of the Runescar family will forever suppress their feeble attempts to break into the Port Peril business? Why, just the other day, some Chelish nobleman tried to buy my bar. The nerve!
Indeed. Well, I'm truly impressed. You must be a very enterprising young woman to be balancing so many calls upon your precious time.
So she, pulls out a cigar and, lights it up. And she's like, yes, I can see you are very, very discerning, Captain. Can I offer you a cigar? Perhaps a box of them?
How kind of you. Now, always young women moving
You're dropping out.
go.
Unfortunately, that whole thing completely bottomed out. Switch back to the top page. So let me ask, while this conversation is going on, what are the rest of the crew members doing? Obviously, Sifrig is going through their alcohol supply and taste testing everything to make sure it's up to his quality. Young women should strive for what they want. And a diplomacy check. Well, let's see here. She is unfriendly towards you. A 21 will push her towards indifferent. By the Chilaxian patriarchy. So you're like Chilaxian patriarchy, and she's like, yes, the Chilaxian patriarchy. And then she takes a puff on the cigar, and she says, wait, Aren't they led by a queen? An immortal, all-powerful queen. And she takes another puff and she's like, yes, I'm pretty sure that's how it works, actually. So what are the rest of you doing? Scourge is taste testing these alcohols.
I'm going to ask Aces if he can detect magic for any magical items they might have.
I'd go around detecting magic as requested.
Okay. The monk is wearing an amulet of mighty fists, +1.
Will I be getting that part of the bargain?
No.
Oh.
So when you ask him to turn over, he's just like, no.
But you lost.
I still have my pride. Perhaps you would like to face me one-on-one.
What are the rules?
Melee combat, hand-to-hand, as Irori laid down in the ancient words.
I'll fight you on one-to-one melee combat, maybe not hand-to-hand.
He's like, if you cannot reach the physical perfection of your own body, how can you claim to be a weapon?
We don't claim to be weapons.
Why do you need foolishness of swords and cutting edges and steel?
Magic. As I wave my hands.
He's like, Irori did not need magic to ascend into the heavens.
But Rory's not here right now. You are.
So he's like, you do not understand. You are far down the path to self-enlightenment. And then we cut back to Ferris, who is trying to talk to this young woman. Portia Runescar. Let's see here, you know how it is. So many calls in her time by the Weasley men trying to create their own fiefdoms under her munificent rule. The dumb thing would be to take your ship as plunder and ransom you and your crew members at the Loyalist nearest port. Are you trying to negotiate with her and make her into one of your captains as well?
Not a captain.
So you don't want her to be captain?
I don't want her to be captain. I am offering to take her on as an officer and help teach her the tools of the trade.
Ah, now I understand.
Apprenticeship. In the meantime, of course, our crew will sail her pretty ship.
She says, smoking her cigar, she's like, I refuse your offer. It seems very kind, but I have trained under the greatest of tutors for at least 3 years. I am fully prepared to lead my own ship. I just had the misfortune of facing you as my first opponent.
Well, that's very chips too. And I guess we should be docking the Rock in another day or two. We'll be more than happy to leave you there so you can transfer.
She says, oh, the Rock, of course. My cousin lives there. I'll be so happy to see her again. Craig, did you join us? I think your face appeared out of nowhere.
I hope so.
All right, let me get some faces set back up.
Sorry.
As soon as we cross cut back, I have some things to say to the monk.
Okay.
I like whisper to everybody, I really want that necklace. I really do.
Hey, loot is loot.
But I don't think I could take him in hand-to-hand combat. I'm not that type of fighter.
Aces, I do give you those magical arrows. So so you have the complete set now: bow, bracers of archery, and magical arrows.
Yay! Now I can probably try to do something against that captain guy that's probably going to murder our face verbally.
That's true.
I just want the undead for when that situation happened. I'm not going to use the arrows for anything else.
So, Craig, how have you been this week? Let's do the introduction here a little late.
It's kind of been a tough week around the homestead. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Don't have any side tone. Okay.
Yep.
We spent a good part of the week at the hospital with my father-in-law. It's been kind of bad.
That super sucks.
Yep. So that's why I was a bit late tonight. We still got stuff going on, so.